Okay. Hello, I'm a new Tekken player, and I've seen a lot of discussion between Pakistani style Tekken and Korean style Tekken. What are the pros and cons to both, and which style should I subscribe, emulate, study to? My recommendation is always to study as much as possible. Like, don't just limit yourself to one style. But the reason why the Pakistani style is so cool is because everybody in the game is Korean backdashing, right? And that creates little rhythms, because there are moments where the backdash is still going versus when people cancel it and decide to, like, say backdash and then hit their button, right? 1, 2, 3, back 1, or maybe 1, 2, back 1, right? And it won't always be these moves, but it's with relation to the Korean backdash. 1, 2, 3, jab, right? 1, 2, jab, 1, 2, jab. Make sense? So if somebody's chasing you, chasing your backdash, they're also looking at your backdash timing at a high level. What Pakistan is so good at is hitting between these beats. Right? So if you call each of these like a beat, they're really good at hitting on the half beat, right? And that makes them menaces in the counter hit game, for example. But also their poking is like truly unpredictable. They have the ability to truly randomize their actions. Like, that's what it feels like watching a lot of them, which is really scary. So they have really good timing, really random actions. And generally, because of how often they practice on the same consoles, like PS5 and stuff, they're like, their reaction speed is really good, and they're fighting people who have good defensive reaction speed. So their poke timing is also really good at not being, like, predictable, right? Because in this game, like, yeah, you can't see this low, right? 15 frames is too fast to see this low. But in Pakistan, they will react to you dashing forward and hitting it, right? Because this will whiff. So if you don't want to whiff, you dash forward and then hit this. Good Pakistani players will know that, okay, Brian has a 15 frame low, so I can set up my backdash to have a low parry or a low block to match this dash timing. So if they see you dash, they'll do a quick block and let go. I fought Arslan, I fought Atif, and they consistently did this. It was almost impossible to hit them with lows. So that's what makes Pakistan really strong in particular, and it really benefited them in Tekken 7, where low parry was really good, and counter hits were really good, right? It's good Tekken in general, but that was the big reason they blew up in Tekken 7. So when you think of the Korean style, Koreans love blocking, right? They don't like taking big risks. They prefer blocking and staying really solid on defense, and then making you get obvious with your timing or your options because of the way they're moving. Right? They will say, for example, I'm Brian fighting Kazuya. I will sidewalk left consistently, sidewalk left duck to beat your timings. Right? So if you try to mix me up, let me switch to my arcade stick so I can demonstrate this kind of more cleanly. I'm not a leverless player. So let's see. If you... Let me pull this up. So I'm going to record Kazuya in the practice settings here, doing a few mix-ups, right? So say he does wave dash, forward, forward, 3. That's his mid option, and then wave dash, hell sweep. Okay, I didn't mean to do that one, but that works. And then wave dash, electric, right? Let's say I do all these, right? And I'm playing, so I'm the defender. I can backdash, sidewalk left duck, and cover all of these options really well. So Koreans love playing this style, where your defense is so hard to break, that the only way to beat, I'm not Korean, that's why I got hit. The only way you could beat this is by changing your timing even more, right? So let's take a more simple example. In a realistic scenario, actually, no, that example was fine. What am I talking about? So to beat the 2 wave dash sidewalk left duck, you might have to do a 3rd wave dash. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. Let me try that again. I'm going to do 3 wave dashes and then an electric, right? Okay, so the reason why that works is because if I'm playing that timing of two wave dashes, then my duck comes out right at the perfect time. But if they play 3 wave dashes, look at what happens. I block it now because my duck timing was wrong. Even worse, if I keep sidewalking, I get launched, right? So that's why you see a lot of old Korean footage is just them moving around. Like, oh, they're just moving around. They're not just moving around. They're playing around different timings and trying to track all this really good sidestepping and this really good backdashing. So the Korean style was really good in previous Tekkens where movement was super strong. Not like Tekken 7 as much, but like every Tekken prior to that where movement was really, really good, the Koreans were so dominant because they were so good at this style. they mastered how to control your opponent's offense. Right? If my opponent is wasting all this time wave dashing, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna fucking hit him. Ideally, a counter hit. Right? So I'll do all this and that. Because they have to spend extra time moving to track me. And off that extra time, I'll just hit him. And that's what the Koreans were so good at, right? And so you asked about the two different styles. They all have their different strengths. Koreans have really good movement, really good like option select defense. If you watch like Yanarang's Hwarang, his defense is insane. And he just throws out launchers all day. Like he's not like doing a bunch of like mix-ups or crazy stuff. He'll just defend a bunch and then throw out a bunch of launchers. So Pakistan has really, really good defense as well. But they're built around catching that offbeat timing and catching those dash up lows. Those are the two biggest things I could identify. And they're really random offense. That's why Pakistan is so scary. So, I don't have a good read on the NA style. NA has so many different like representations of styles. So NA is hard to lock down because we have people who play like Koreans. We have people who play like Pakistanis. We have people who play like Europeans. It's really random. But the NA players are really good. The European players are characterized by their willingness to play rock, paper, scissors. So like, they will constantly just like do the option that they think will kill you, even if it's stupid, right? Like stupid in the sense that like they had no reason to do it. They have no like past data. They have no like statistical read. Like statistically in Tekken 7, it's not the same case here. But statistically in Tekken 7, going low is pretty scary because if you get low parried, you die, right? Or attacking on a specific timing might be scary because of the counter hit threat. If a European thinks you'll die to it, they'll do it anyways. They will just do it because their combo game was so optimized that it didn't matter if they fucked up 50 times. If they hit you one time, you would lose. So Europeans are clinically like mechanical and will run the rock, paper, scissors and try to read you, right? Even if it doesn't make sense. So that's each style. As for which one to study, because you asked which one to study, check them all out. See which one fits you and try to take the best ones from each. I really like the Korean style, but I'm really bad at it. So I honestly only play better when I play kind of like almost like a European, to be honest. Like, it's not how I like to analyze the game, but the way that my brain and like body work, I tend to play better that way. So it's hard to say, like, you know. But that's a rough estimate of each person's or region's playstyle. Japan is like a weird mix between Korea and like Europe. And I have a theory. I wasn't around at the time, but I remember talking to old head players. I should say legacy players, you know, respectfully. I remember talking to like experienced players and they said that in Japan, a lot of the tournaments are first to one single elimination style. So you didn't have a lot of time to do like data gathering or like variance reduction. What you would do is you would just go in and try to do your thing and beat them up. You would see like crazy styles like this. Like they would just go for the kill, right? And you had to survive or run your like stuff first, like beat them up first so you don't see what they're gonna do to you, right? That was the Japanese like characteristic thing. So I think that would explain that style. And then are there good players in Africa? Yeah, there are. I'm not really familiar with the scene, but I do know that I've seen some clips of really, really strong players from Africa. And the Middle East as well has some really, really strong players. So it's pretty cool. Hopefully you enjoy that. If you think I missed something, if you think I was wrong, let me know in the comments. Because then at least we can have a discussion and I can get some engagement, you know. Leave a like if you enjoy this kind of video and subscribe if you want to see more. Catch you in the next one. Peace.